As I said before, retro video collecting is a very big thing nowadays. People are playing retro video games more than ever. But as time goes on, our hardware, accessories will start to fail and will start to get scarce when trying to look for it in the wild, on the internet, and it will get a whole lot more expensive than it is now. So that will lead us retro collectors and video game enthusiasts in the dark as to where we can find these accessories and the hardware. But there are quite a few companies designing retro video game accessories and hardware. A lot of it is from Greater China, but there are some that stand out like Retrobit and HYPERKIN. On today's episode of Reviews by this guy, we're taking a look at the HYPERKIN Retron HD. Today we're taking a look at the Retron HD from HYPERKIN. Now when you first take a look at this design, in my opinion, is amazing. It's the first design I've seen so far that holds true to the original Nintendo design, but with a modern flair. Has your same ridges here, vent ridges here at the top that look pretty similar to the original Nintendo. Have your cartridge slot up here. This is a top loader, just like the NES second version, which was the top loader. You have your power and reset buttons, once again pretty similar to the original. You have your two NES ports here for your controllers, which are original Nintendo ports. This isn't the weird ports that they decided to go with on that Nintendo Classic clone that I reviewed. If you're interested in seeing that, you can click the link down below. Now it has a cool etched out design here with the HYPERKIN logo that does light up during power on. On the back you have your AV outs, just in case you still want to experience your retro video games on an old CRTV. It has your 16.9 or 4.3 aspect ratio switch here. You can switch between the two if you're going to be using two different TVs, your CRT or your HD. It has, of course, your HDMI port, and it has a micro USB for powering. Now, I've heard some people complain about that. I personally like that. I mean, come on, how many micro USBs can you find around your house? I personally have plenty. And on the bottom, you have your PAL and NTSC. That is a great add-on. I am obviously in America, so I'll be using NTSC, but just in case you want to play your PAL games, you can on this console. The console does only come with one controller, which is pretty much a letdown. I think it should be pretty standard with your retro NES clones to come with two controllers. I mean, I know back in the day, the original Nintendo only came with one controller, if I remember correctly, but come on. I think it should be a pretty standard thing that it comes with two, just like the rest. Plus, holds pretty true to the original NES controller. It does have what I believe to be the original D-pad from the NES controller. Your rubber start buttons, your two pill-shaped concave A and B action buttons. It has the same carved design that the console does. I don't know if you can see that. It slopes down. During gameplay, I really didn't notice those. I thought that it was kind of going to annoy me, but it did not. The cord is fairly long. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's 9 feet. Just like that HYPERKIN X91 that I did review. If you didn't get to see that, link will be in the description down below. Go ahead and check that out. Interested to see what else came in the box besides the console and the controller? There is a link to the unboxing video of the HYPERKIN Retron HD in the description down below. You can click that and go check that out and see what else came in the box. I'd like to now take the HYPERKIN Retron HD and compare it to the Res Plus. These are two HD NES clones, one from Retrobit, obviously the other from HYPERKIN. As you can see, as far as design is concerned, I think the HYPERKIN Retron HD blew Retrobit's Res Plus out of the water. I mean, I like the fact that this has a small factor design. It is really light. I mean, they're both fairly light as far as the nostalgia is concerned, and feeling like you're playing a actual console that could have came out back in the day. The Retron HD hits it out the ballpark. This one just looks too Chinese to me. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't striking. I mean, it has its red and black color scheme, which, by the way, you can get the Retron HD in black and red as well. So, I mean, it just, design-wise, the Res Plus does not stand out to me. It doesn't have that cool factor. It's not to say that the Res Plus doesn't do well as far as a retro NES HD clone is concerned. If you're interested in seeing the episode of reviews by this guy on this console, link also will be in the description down below. Go ahead, check that out. It's not a bad NES clone. It's just, as far as design concerned, I think the Retron HD hit the mark on this one. Also, if you're interested to see a post I did on reviewsbythisguy.com entitled Battle of the HD Clones, there will be a link in the description down below to that too. I put these two guys up against each other and see which one won the battle. During gameplay on the Retron HD, I didn't see too many issues. While playing Double Dragons, did notice some weird static at points. It's kind of similar, if you remember back in the day, the NES or any console that had the old metal AV cables, and if one wasn't situated properly or broken, it would make that sound or whatever. Kind of did notice that, but I noticed it on the Res Plus, so I'm kind of thinking it's the game itself and not the actual console. While playing The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants, it kind of seemed like the frame rate was kind of sped up, or the audio was sped up. But when I looked on the internet at other people's game footage, it kind of sounded similar, so maybe that's the way the game's meant to sound. I personally never played The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants. I did notice that I kind of suck at it, but as I played more and more, I kind of got better. So we'll see where that goes. I do intend on playing the game some more. I also, of course, had to play Zelda, one of my favorite games, which, ironically, I don't ever remember beating. Yes, guys, the original Zelda game I never beat. I guess it's never too late, and I will be playing that more. I will be beating that in the future. But nonetheless, the gameplay seemed to be perfectly fine. The frame rate was perfect. The audio was perfect. I didn't see any issues. I actually enjoyed the gameplay on it. I think the console handled the games pretty well, but as we all know, when it comes to clone consoles, occasionally there are some quirks as far as frame rate is concerned and the audio being off at times or sped up. I didn't notice it at all too much. The controller felt pretty natural. Overall, I had a great retro gaming experience with the Retron HD. If I was going to tell you which one I'd pick as far as design is concerned, obviously, like I said, I would go with the Retron HD over the Res Plus. Just look at this guy. In my opinion, it looks amazing. The design far surpasses the Res Plus. It gives you that old NES nostalgia feel. You feel like this is what the original Nintendo was intended to look like. If you're interested to find out what this guy cost on the market now, there will be a link in the description down below. You can also click that link for more information on the HYPERKIN Retron HD. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Please let me know what you think of the Retron HD, or which one you prefer, the Retron HD or the Res Plus. If you like this video, please consider hitting that thumbs up. If you found the video to be of some sort of value, please consider sharing amongst your friends. And if you're interested to see more from the We Deem channel, please hit that subscribe button.